Coming out to respond to that and much, much more is Republican Congressman Ken Buck of Colorado, one of the 8 Republicans who voted successfully to remove Kevin McCarthy from the Speaker's chair. Thank you so much for coming in. First, your response to that, including the idea from a fellow Republican that you and your fellow 7 are unserious.
Well, I disagree, obviously. I think that Nikki Haley had it right when she said the Senate is the most privileged nursing home in America. And I think that it's great that folks could be willing to criticize the House for our effort to reduce spending when the Senate is every bit as guilty as the majorities in the House have been in the past at running up spending in this country.
So I understand that you are in a different category than some of the other 7, primarily because you have, since you came into Congress, been singularly focused on reducing government spending. I do get that. But what about the notion of doing that at the cost of basic functions of government? I mean, is lowering government spending for you more important than a functioning government?
No, it's not at all. I think you can have both. Dana, we have 77,000 vacant buildings owned by the federal government. We have a Department of Defense that has failed its internal audit for 30 years in a row. We have a Department of Defense that can't find billions of dollars of equipment.
And why do you think removing Kevin McCarthy will change any of that?
Because he refused to do anything about those issues. He refused to reduce spending. I brought the issue of unauthorized programs. A program is authorized for 5 years, and after 5 years it's supposed to sunset. 1,400 unauthorized programs are being appropriated to, and that number increased.
Are you confident that there is somebody in the Republican conference who will do the kinds of things you just talked about?
I am confident that we can come together and find a way to get that done, yes.
I know you don't want to name names because you think that would hurt the person that you named, but is there a kind of person that you're thinking of? Is there... I mean, I guess I'll just ask you again in a different way, the question I just asked you, which is, there is somebody who is running for Speaker who you think will be able to tackle the problems of government spending that you and other fiscal conservatives support, but also can function in a very, very discordant House Republican conference.
Yeah, I think that there are courageous leaders in the Republican conference who will step forward. Democrats don't want wasteful government spending, and Republicans don't want that. There's a way of finding places to cut spending that doesn't impact programs.
I talked to your Republican colleague, Dave Joyce, yesterday, and I want you to listen to part of our conversation. Should he and the other 7 be kicked out of the conference?
Well, I don't see how they can really be part of a conference when they they come on the inside, listen to what's going on, and go outside and lob bombs in the middle.
Sounds like that's a yes.
Yeah, well, you know, I think again, I'm one of those who's a ground up thing, so I think it's important that everybody have an opportunity to take in what's happening and then make a collective decision when we get back. But if it was up to me, I'd vote for it.
And it being kicking you out of the Republican conference, he says talking to you 8 is a waste of time.
So there are some who say we should be expelled. There are some who say we should be kicked out of the conference. I don't think they can do math really well because we have a 4-vote majority right now. If you kick 8 people out of the conference, you have Speaker Hakeem Jeffries. You don't have a Republican Speaker. I think it's great threats to throw around, but I think it's really meaningless in the long run.
I think that the anger, and you're hearing it, I'm sure, face-to-face, maybe phone call to phone call, is about getting rid of him without a plan afterwards, and about how this looks not just to America but to the world, about the strength of democratic institutions and the ability to find somebody to actually lead and coalesce.
Yeah, I think that the way $36 trillion in debt looks to the world is my primary concern. I think we'll find a speaker, and I don't think that in the year people are going to consider this a minor pothole that we got over. The problems that we face are existential, and if we don't address those, the world has a lot of reason to be concerned about America's strength.
I know you're not a supporter. Steve Bannon is not a supporter of yours, but I'm sure you saw that he was egging on some of your fellow Republicans who voted for this. You think that's appropriate?
Look, Steve Bannon has a voice like a lot of other people. He has called me a rhino with that voice more often than not. I still worked with those others to make sure we get a better speaker.
We're hearing from our colleagues that the former president is coming to Capitol Hill to speak to House Republicans. Is that something that you think will help?
Help what?
Help to unite the conference?
No, I think there are a lot of people that don't support Donald Trump in the conference, quietly don't support him, and there are some who do support him. He obviously gave the Medal of Freedom to Jim Jordan and is a big Jim Jordan fan, so I'm not sure what he's going to say, but I imagine he is supporting Jim Jordan at this point.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thank you.